Hey everybody. Anyway, I've been working with some kind of interesting aspects, in my life. And a lot of them, are consisting of like emotional stuff. And in the 36 years in my practice, I think the one major hurdle that creates disease and that people usually die from is their emotional body. Their emotional body is stuck in a past paradigm. And, Don Miguel Ruiz, he talked about this in the Four Agreements. And basically, it boils down to making sure that you are not in guilt. Like you do everything you can to make sure that you don't have guilt, which I'm going to call it punishment, because I also see this kind of aspect in law. So, and forgive me, I'm super, super, super exhausted because I just went through another, going through another really big, interesting life event. That's been pretty hard, but I think that, I'm learning things from each event. So, and I'm learning like new skills and mindset and just a lot of other stuff. But I'm going to call it like the reward, punishment, judge and jury paradigm duality. So I see this in medicine. It's usually what kills people. It's usually why they get disease and die. Because they're, punishing themselves for something and or punishing someone else, like a marriage partner or a family member or some, the thing is that unless they do kind of a deep dive and deep work, they don't even know who they're punishing. And mostly they end up just punishing themselves. And I see this, like I could tell you story after story after story that how this ends up also in the legal paradigm. And more I'm understanding why we have the legal system that we do in this world. Because it provides you, so many people go to jail who are absolutely not guilty. And this is because of whatever they've been holding on to. And then they get such extreme punishments for something that is so, like, not even valid. It's so unbelievable. But I do believe that people get what they deserve in this world. And if you feel like you deserve something and you haven't done a deep dive into what kind of emotions that you are managing, and most people are in this reward punishment, right? So they don't get the reward because God doesn't give them the reward. So it starts with religion. And so they do everything that they're told to get the reward from God, right? The reward punishment, organized religion, monist type religion. And then they don't get the reward. They're the good person and they don't get the reward. So then, and none of this stuff usually is like hitting the surface. It's all like playing like underneath, right? It's undercurrent of how you're emotionally playing out your roles in this world. And the role in America's society is pretty much punishment, reward punishment. Then it moves on to I need to be punished, so it can move into, health problems. It can move into financial problems because you're always going to make the choice that is going to give you the most punishment. And then sometimes I see it happen into the legal system where for no reason, like I was saying, people get arrested or they get in some type of law trouble. And then they end up, getting the punishment that they have conjured onto themselves. And so one of the other things I've been thinking a lot about is, Russell J. Gould and a lot of his work. And yes, I do have a claim of life. So, because I think his work is fascinating. I mean, it's just really fascinating, like how his mind works. I'm just really attracted to his mind. So I think a lot about, like, he talks about the now space, getting out of the legal fiction by reclaiming yourself in the now space, right? And creating a space in the now where things can't fracture in, right? They can't get in between you and your now space, because nothing has jurisdiction over that. And I was thinking about how many people, I know Ram Dass, I read his books on, Be Here Now from, way long before I was in this world fully. And I think it's all about the present moment and being in the now space, because otherwise, your reward punishment from religion. And then if you're not getting the reward, you're not being rich, you're not getting the perfect life, you're not getting everything, then you must need to be punished, because, that's what the monist system of religion is. So then you end up in the punishment segment, but then now you're playing out the punishment, trying to get the punishment you deserve so that you can actually get through it to get to back to the reward punishment system. So then you need a judge and a jury, right? Or you need a medical doctor to tell you you're curable or you're non-curable, right? So you're going to die, because you need to be punished. And I see this a lot. I mean, playing over basically where we're captive. We're captive in the religious systems, and we're captive in the medical systems, and we're captive in the law systems. Anyway, so I'm intending to, like, really use, the negatives and how I've ended up where I'm at, because I think a lot of us carry, like, some underlying punishment fatigue, and when will we get the punishment we need, and when will we get through it, and when can we get on, with our life. And like I said, a lot of this is not surface. A lot of this is undercurrent. So I just want to put that out there. Tomorrow, I've got a pretty hefty, crazy day today. And tomorrow starts, really working with the new understanding that is coming in, that I can actually work with, and that I can put together a new now space, and get out of the old. So, like, if you're in the reward punishment, you're in the judge and jury, you're curable, uncurable. It's all the same thing, by the way. You are living in the past and the future, conjuring your future. You're not in the now space. And you're in what we call the left hemisphere, or the reptilian paradigm. So, like Jill Taylor Bolt, I tell people all the time, go look at her video, A Stroke of Insight, on TED.com. And she is a brain researcher, and she'll tell you the same thing. We have to step to the right hemisphere of our brain, and start operating in the present moment in omnipresence and omnipotence, and getting out of the past and the future, and getting out of needing a reward punishment system. All right, that's all I've got for you.